Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the CG Power Limited Q1 FY25 earnings conference call hosted by IIFL Securities Limited. As a reminder, all participants' lines will be listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Gaurav Uttarani from IIFL Securities Limited. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Neha. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of IIFL Securities, I welcome everyone to CG Power and Industrial Solution 1Q FY25 earnings call. We have the pleasure of having with us the senior management team of CG Power led by Mr. N. Srinivasam, Managing Director, Mr. Amar Kaul, Managing Director and CEO, Mr. Sushil Todi, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Ramesh Kumar, President Industrial Division, Mr. Mukul Srivastava, President Power Systems, Mr. Ajay Jain, Vice President Transformer Division, Mr. Chidambaram Balakrishnan, Vice President Railway Division. Without much of a delay, I will now hand over the floor to the management for their opening remarks, which shall be followed by a Q&A session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. So thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first extend a warm welcome to you for this Q1 FY25 earnings call. This is Natarajan Srinivasan, Managing Director of the company. I would like to briefly mention that, as all of you may know, that this is my last day at the company. I'm retiring by the end of the day, and Amar Kaul has joined us to succeed me, and he'll be the Managing Director and CEO from tomorrow. He is also with me along with me in this call. The rest of the executives who have been with me are Ramesh Kumar, Mukul Srivastava, Ajay Jain, Chidambaram Balakrishnan, and Sushil Todi, and they have already been introduced to you by the earlier speaker. Company performance. Q1 FY 2024-25, sales grew by about 19% and profit before tax grew by about 27%. Aggregate sales for the quarter were higher at 2,106 crores, recording a growth of 19% year-on-year. PBT was higher at 325 crores as against 256 crores in QY FY24, recording a growth of 27%. Sales, EBITDA and PBT achieved in Q1 of FY25 is the highest ever recorded in a quarter in recent times. Margins were higher year-on-year at 15.4% of sales as against 14.5% of sales last year on account of higher realizations, favorable product mix and cost efficiencies in power systems. Free cash flow generated during the quarter was about 63 crores. Return on capital employed annualized stood at 39%. Another highlight for this quarter is the unexecuted order book, which as on 30th June 2024 was 44% higher year-on-year at 7,054 crores as against 4,909 crores as on 30th June 2023. A segment-wise performance. Industrial systems. Aggregate sales for the quarter were higher at 1,357 crores, recording a growth of 8% year-on-year. PBIT was just 182 crores at 13.4% of sales as against 197 crores, 15.7% of sales in Q1 of FY24. Margins were lower year-on-year on account of higher mix of railway division and prices awarded in tender being lower due to competitive bidding. Unexecuted order book as on 30th June 2024 was 20% higher year-on-year at 2,451 crores compared to 2,035 crores as on 30th June 2023. Power systems. Aggregate sales for the quarter were higher at 750 crores, recording a growth of 47% year-on-year. PBIT was about 149 crores, at 19.9% of sales, as against 63 crores, into 12.3% of sales in Q1 of FY24. Margins were higher year-on-year on account of higher realizations, favorable product mix, higher exports, and cost efficiencies. Unexecuted order book as on 30th June 2024 was 60% higher year-on-year at 4,603 crores as against 2,874 crores as of 30th June 2023. Consolidated financial results. Consolidated results include performance of the operating subsidiaries at Sweden, Germany and Netherlands, Drives and Automation Europe, CG Adhesive Products India, CG Sevi Private Limited India, and other non-operating holding subsidiaries. Aggregate sales for the quarter were higher at 2,228 crores, recording a growth of 19% year-on-year. Profit before tax was 336 crores, 15.1% of sales in Q1 of FY25, as against 263 crores, 14% of sales in Q1 of FY24. Unaudited financial statements with detailed notes are available as part of the stock exchange filing in the company's website, www.cgglobal.com. Today, our board of directors also approved the proposal to acquire 55% stake in a company called DG Tronics Private Limited. The company is specializing in embedded systems, safety and the supplier to railways. The company also has got one of the 4 companies which are approved for supplying Kavach. The Kavach system, which is the train collision avoidance systems. We signed a definitive agreements for the acquisition, and then we hope to complete this within a month's time. Lastly, as I mentioned earlier, this will be my last day here, and the company is again in safe hands with Amar Kaul, who will steer the ship very ably. I thank you for all your support to me and to my team as always, and I am sure you will continue to extend the same to Amar. Thank you. Me and my colleagues will be happy to answer the questions.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handset while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Ravi Swaminathan from Avendus Spark. Please go ahead.
Thanks for taking my question and congrats on a very good set of numbers. My first question is, sir, if you could talk about more on the industrial systems business, how the performance was there during the quarter. I mean, I noticed that there has been a 8% top line growth, and how the individual subsegments would have performed, both from a volume-wise and realization-wise, how it would have moved. Individual subsegment means I am talking about the low-tension motor, high-tension motor, the railways portion of the industrial systems business. In the press release, you had mentioned that there was a bit of competition in terms of pricing going down. So if you can talk about that more. And also how whether elections had impacted this quarter, and incrementally how outlook is for this.
So I think, Ravi, actually, that we don't give breakups separately for railways and motors, and also the subsegment of the motors, how much is LT motors, how much is LIM, etc. So probably now, as I mentioned to you, the railway business, our volumes have been good. I have also gone on record that this year we will be able to grow at least 40% compared to last year based on the tenders that has been awarded. In the railway tenders, in some of the products you may get a lower price, some of the products you may get a reasonable price, and then where due to competitive intensity, the price awarded was lower. This quarter so happened that some of the products we dispatched, actually the margins were little compressed, primarily because under the tender system you have to match the L1 price if you are given the order. On account of this, the margins were little lower compared to last year. Last year Q1 and Q2 was very good for motors, whereas this year it is not so. That will explain the less than, perhaps I would say, a little bit of a suboptimality in this performance of this division. When the buoyancy in motors will come back, this quarter, obviously, as you rightly said, this demand has been a little bit impacted on account of the elections. it is guesswork. Actually, my estimation and our team feels that, probably in H2, the business can do slightly much better than what we are doing right now.
Okay. At the LT motor level, is it safe to assume there would have been a double-digit volume growth and it's more of realization which has been the culprit this time?
Yes, you are right. But concrete number I'll not be able to tell you because EMA has not yet published the first quarter results. But if you see up to March, the market is also growing by double digit and we are also growing by double digit as far as volume is concerned. Volume in both quantity as well as kilowatt. But the price realization is the culprit.
Okay, understood, sir. And in terms of efforts and drives, if you can talk about, can that be a big driver of growth in the motor business?
So drives definitely can be a big driver, but all the growth cannot come in 1 year. We are taking steps to grow the business over a period of 2 to 3 years, at least 3 to 4 years. I think we want to scale up the business considerably. I can't commit to any number.
Understood, sir. Thanks. I will come back in the queue for further questions.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rahul Gajare from Haitong Securities. Please go ahead.
Good evening and thanks for the opportunity. Mr. Natarajan, firstly, let me thank you for driving the company to this level over the past few years. I really appreciate your contribution to the company.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So my first question is, continuing on the earlier participant on the industrial business. Now, this business has seen pressure on margin, because of the price. Now, while margin in Q4 and Q1 is at similar levels, so does that, can we infer that the price decline has stopped? Is that a right assessment of the performance in the motor business?
So I think margin is a combination of two factors. One is the unit price realization. Second is the input cost. Either way, the margins can get impacted. But as of now, I think, we have been able to maintain more or less the margins we recorded in Q4. And generally feel that from here, margins can only look up. I don't see the reasons for margins to go down from here.
Okay, so there is no further price decline, at least what we have seen in the first quarter. I think that is something which one can infer very clearly over here.
Yes, you are right.
Okay. So my second question is on the, the railway acquisition of GG Tronics. Now, can you talk about the opportunity that Kavach system will throw for the company? And also if the company, GG Tronics is already working on other areas besides Kavach, or this is the only forte that this acquisition will help the railway business?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So GG Tronics is one of the 4 companies which have been approved for Kavach. Apart from Kavach, they are a very leading supplier of diesel axle counter, in which they hold about anything between 40 to 45% market share. But the turnover of the company in that segment is only about 100 to 110 crores. But it is a profitable company. But much of the big growth can come from Kavach. Actually, you must have seen, you must have read the statement from the railway minister after the budget. In this budget, actually, totally about 2,55,000 crores has been allocated. And the minister has clearly said where this money is going to be allocated. Primarily, a large part of the chunk here, there is also a specific statement saying Kavach will get a large allocation. See, the intentions of the government is just primarily focus on safety with a couple of accidents taking place. Earlier, they wanted to do about 5,000 kilometers in a year, probably that may get accelerated. So we see going by this, I think, this company can get about 20% market share. And with our joining them actually in terms of capability, financial support, and then, we also have some of our propulsion systems and whatever we have done through EPC, etc., have got some credence with the railway tendering system or eligibility criteria. I think 20% market share, I think if this company is able to get to start with, I think this can be a good opportunity. In addition to that, we'll have to work with them. The company has got a lot of capabilities in the embedded systems, power electronics. So we will, going forward, we work with them to see what are the other areas we can do. But Kavach will be a big driver of growth for this company going forward.
Sure. So my last question is on the OSAT business. Is there any progress that you could like to highlight to us on that particular business? Thank you.
So OSAT actually right now it is only in the stage of commencing the construction work. So now only activities are picking up. We have appointed senior team, and then tendering etc. is being sorted too. Maybe it will take another one more quarter to start the project activities in full swing. Over 18 to 24 months, our target is to complete the project. I think it is a little early. Maybe by the last quarter, we may be able to tell you some more progress and things like that.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much, and all the very best.
Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bhumika Nair from DAM Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, sir, and congratulations on good set of numbers and the acquisition. So the first question is on the industrial motors. We were looking at exports and, how is that progressing? Any, initial orders that we've got, if you can just talk about that aspect.
Yeah, Bhumika, Ramesh here.
Yes.
See, actually we tried, but if you see the Europe market is being little sluggish now. So whatever we have been getting earlier, we are continuing to get that, but the acceleration is not happened to the extent what we have planned in Q1. And we are also now putting our people there in different locations and hoping that things will improve if market also improves.
Okay. Sir, the other part was on HT Motors. We spoke about LT Motors, but can you comment about how HT Motors is progressing? We had got some NPCL related orders, etc. earlier on. How is the progress in terms of ramp up? What is our market share now for HT Motors?
The market share we are at a 20% closing March last year. As I said earlier also, the DEMA first quarter figures are not yet been published. But I can say that HT Motors requirements in the market are enquiries are much better than the LT motor. And if you see our performance in Q1 as far as order intake is concerned, percentage wise, our HT Motors is much more than the LT Motors.
So 20% growth in order is seen in the motors compared to March last quarter.
20% order inflow in the first quarter versus March quarter.
Compared to March.
For HT Motors.
Understood. Yes. For motors as a whole.
For motors as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the order book seemed to be more or less stable between March and now. So,
yes.
Understood. Sir, in terms of the power systems now, this quarter was a very strong quarter with both on terms of top line as also margin expansion. Now, we've seen a quarter-on-quarter improvement in margins, going from single digits to about close to 20%. Now, how much of this, or is this something which is sustainable and, for the operating leverage would be fairly high given high utilization. So if you can talk about what is our utilization levels on the current plants and, some sense on margins, how one can look at once new plants are operational by the end of the year.
So I think we have talked about margins number of times. Nobody can predict the trend of margins. And secondly, for you to expect this kind of margins to prevail in the next 2-3 quarters is extremely optimistic. This quarter, for various reasons, then all the factors, we have discussed this earlier. In transformer and switchgear, each order will have a different margin. You get some export orders or something you supply suddenly in a very quick delivery time, etc. You get some special price. Therefore, each order will determine the contribution and margins in this business. So current quarter, everything has been favorable to us. Therefore, I don't expect this margin to continue. But nevertheless, margins will be good. That's all I can say. I don't put any number. Margins because of the the industry, both power and switchgear, the industry is in very strong footing. Our overall order book has gone. Demand is good. Price realizations are better. So margins are expected to be good. But I can't confirm that the same margins will continue. Coming to your second question, the capacity utilization, of course, is to the maximum. We are operating at 85-90% capacity, and as you know, this both the businesses are under expansion. By end of Q3, we hope to complete the power transformer and the distribution transformer expansion. Switchgear expansion will get completed in the next financial year. Therefore, capacity utilization, even for the enhanced the capacity, the order book seems to be good that we can easily service them. Therefore, can maintain the capacity utilization even for the even post expansion.
Understood. And so my last question is on the acquisition. Quite happening to see this new business line, and it will clearly help in terms of the medium to long term. Sir, any numbers we can give in terms of its, what is the developmental order size? What is the current order book looking like? While obviously the pipeline is very strong, any numbers on that aspect? And if you can get any debt numbers, if it has any.
So the railways have not yet released the tenders for Kavach. We don't know what is, except the statement made by the minister that Kavach will get a higher allocation, and then which means more stations will be covered, and then the higher volume of tenders will be released. Without that, I'm not in a position to give you any number, but I've already indicated whatever value for which tenders are released, we are targeting to get about 20% at least market share.
Sure. And GDTs in both loco and the track systems, Kavach systems?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Got it. Great, sir. I'll come back in the question queue. Thank you again, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address the questions from all the participants, please limit your questions to 2 per participants. Thank you. The next question is from the line of Harshit Patel from Aquarius Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. So my first question is with respect to power systems. Almost all the major companies operating in the transformers and switchgears, they are expanding the capacities at the moment. So do you think favorable pricing scenario will continue next year as well, when all these capacities will come on board?
So the orders are booked for power transformers 1 year in advance. Whatever we want to supply next year, I must get the orders booked now during this year or the next 1 or 2 quarters. So going by the present trend, the price realizations, whatever we are getting, can continue. So if we continues and get the orders this year, then the realization will prevail for next year. Year after, we cannot say now, we'll take some more time. But overall, the demand buoyancy, demand supply mismatch, and then more demand and lesser supply, and then timing mismatch, etc. are there. So I'm confident that the industry will be able to maintain its profitability for the next 3 years at least.
Understood, sir. So my second question is with respect to motors. What would be the share of IE3 and IE4 motors in our overall sales? And how are the margins here different vis-a-vis our standard IE2 motors?
So one thing, so EMA has not yet published the complete details related to IE3, IE4. Therefore, we may not be able to, so we are not in a position to find out what will be our market share in these segments exactly. And we don't share margins product-wise. IE3 how much, IE4 how much, IE2 how much, we don't share those data.
If not market share, if you could share that, what is the contribution of this IE3 and IE4 in our own overall sales, then that will be also very helpful.
I think right now it's about 15%. 15% in IE4 and about 35% in IE3. Yeah, close to 45 to 50%. Between these two, probably it's about 40%.
Understood, sir. But thank you very much for answering my questions and all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you, Patel. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sudit Mitra from Nuvama. Please go ahead.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity. My first question is, you did mention that 20% kind of margins, which what we are seeing in power, may not be sustainable going ahead. But what we do understand is with the kind of pricing benefit that you're seeing probably across the transformer space, would you reckon that a high teen kind of a margin is sustainable? High teens, somewhere in the high teens.
So sustainable, I mean, likely, but I can't commit to a number. Then you will ask me, you said 18, where you are. See, I told you there are a number of factors which influence margins. As I said, in terms of exports, it depends on realization. Then, some orders we get price variation clause, so therefore we cover. Some orders we don't get price variation clause, suddenly prices go up. But overall, I think, so if not this much, high teen, I don't know what you mean by high teen. It may be 16, 17, 18. It's quite possible, I would say.
Understood. So, sir, secondly, also on the industrial and the railway side, right? Like while the margins have been relatively weaker, and you also mentioned that you are anticipating that there will be some recovery in the second half. So can we assume that margins will probably start looking better, or is it more of order inflow and revenues that will start looking better?
So there was some disturbance in your line. I couldn't follow your question. Second in H2 we are expecting recovery. So what was the other part actually?
Yeah, so is the recovery expected on the order inflow and revenues, or the recovery is on the margin side?
So I think once the demand picks up, margins will automatically improve.
Understood. Last question is on the railway piece. I think you mentioned a 20% potential market share that you're targeting for coverage. Can we anticipate that also for the larger locomotive as well as the propulsion system train set orders that are supposed to come, where now you have almost everything under one roof? Would you be looking at a similar market share there as well?
So that is our assumption. Based on that we have evaluated. I think it is possible.
So where can the railway revenues go, let's say, over a 2 to 3 year period, according to you?
No, 2 to 3 year period, it's all, railways in every business is based on tender. How successful, railways normally give the tender only for 1 year. And then, so for next year, this year I was able to comment that we grow 40% because of the orders we bagged. So how do you expect me to say for next year and year after? I think, the same trend continues. I mean, normally we used to say 15% growth, but there are other things, various things we are working out. But if something clicks, we can grow better. So I won't be able to comment at this stage. So you understand, no? So it depends on the tender, how much volume of tender the railways float and how much we are successful. So it's very difficult to say where the business can grow, but I think minimum was 15, and this year, we have done 40. So we would like to keep quiet with just 10 or 15%. Let us see how things pan out.
Understood, sir. Thank you so much for answering my question.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mahesh Bendre from LIC Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So I just wanted to know what is the lead time for the...
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. I request you to use the handset, please.
Yes. I'm audible now?
Yes, sir.
Sir, just wanted to know what is the lead time for a 400 kV transformer right now? I mean, if delivery is placed today, in what period time it is being delivered?
So, Ajay, are you on the call? Ajay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please answer this question.
Yeah. So the current delivery period for the 400 kV transformer is around 18 months.
So, sir, what was in this time frame, maybe 1 year back? I mean, just trying to understand the delivery schedule.
Yeah, 1 year back, CG was delivering in around 15 months, but the industry was still delivering in 18 months only.
Okay. Sure. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Umesh Bhalera from UB Investing. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
I want to ask, what is the progress of camera lenses for Apple? There was one news. Is there any progress?
So this may be pertaining to your question relating to tube investments, sir, not us.
Because there was news that Murugappa...
No, you have to ask tube investments, sir. We can only answer questions on CG.
Okay. And how much contribution from Vande Bharat train in railway business?
No, it's a very general question. So if you ask me anything specific, we have a trial order which we are executing. Other than that, no new tenders have come.
Okay, and what is the percentage of contribution from this power system? What is the transformer and what is switchgear?
No, we don't give this breakup.
Or any growth number?
Growth, I think, in the power systems business in this quarter have grown roughly about 47% in terms of sales. And in terms of EBITDA and PBT, they have grown year on year very substantially, more than 100%, both in EBITDA and PBT.
Okay, and last question is there any plan for making 800 kV RIT bushing in India?
So Mukul, if you want to ask this, can you answer this question?
Yes, sir. As of now, we are focusing up to 400 kV. 800 kV is not that high a demand, so we will evaluate it after 18 months.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Jaskrit Singh from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Good evening. Congratulations on the great results. I have a couple of questions. We observed an unusually high current tax figure of around 50.6 crore rupees, which as opposed to only 2.6 crores from last year. So what can this number be related to?
Tax, sir.
No, this is you are talking about the current tax?
The current tax, yeah.
Yeah, so we are now, till FY23-24, we had some losses. So that losses now is getting absorbed fully for this year. So we start paying now tax for this year onwards.
After
setting up all the losses.
Okay, fair enough. And also, what would be your guidance for FY25?
Guidance on what? We don't give guidance. Guidance on what you are expecting?
In general, with the synergy between your business, between your revenue and order books and all of that.
No, order book is currently has gone by 44%, and then we are at 7,000 crore. It will take time. We can't execute all this in this year. Therefore, we are very comfortably placed in terms of order book. Then the inquiries are very strong in power business. More than 13 to 14,000 crore inquiries are there. And then railways have already said, they will give a tender. They will decide the tender only for 1 year in advance. I've already gone on record. We'll grow by 40%. So what else you require? For this year, we have already given on the top line. We have given, our margins. We have discussed all this. Then rest of it you can calculate for yourself.
Okay, and a follow-on question. Judging by the order book mentioned in your results, will it be fair to assume that the order inflows for your company are around 16 billion rupees, that is 1,600 crore rupees for the power systems and around 1,400 crores for the industrial systems, for a total of 3,000 crores?
Yes.
No, for order inflow you are talking.
Yeah, order inflow.
Inflow is right. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. That's it. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amit Mahawar from UBS. Please go ahead.
Hi, Analyst and team. Congratulations on great results. Sir, I have two broad questions. First is maybe Ajay and Mukul also can help me here. If you look at the global power transmission equipment cycle and even the market in India, we're hardly like 12 to 15 months into the order book built up that we've seen both globally and 4 to 5 large players in India, including CG. you broadly announced the expansion of transformer switchgears, which will start in the next 6 months to 8 months. Do you think in the next 6 to 8 months you'll have to review, for the next round of expansion? Because as you take orders, you will have to basically project next 2-3 years. So do you think that in a scenario where you will have expansions in the next 6 to 8 months, next round on these capacities, because these take time, transformers take time?
So if your question is that are we looking at any further expansion in these both the segments, am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we are constantly evaluating this, and no decision has been taken. So without that, I will not be able to say anything. But we are constantly evaluating which segments, how much we should expand, whether we should look at what are the opportunities, etc.
Fair point, answer. So broadly, 540 crore is the exports that we had last year, and you have guided for like 20% of revenues in the next 4 to 5 years from export market. Broadly, can you help us summarize how much will be industrial export, because motors is something which is not a history in terms of export track record for us, largely been transformers and switchgears. So how will we look at both the segments in the next 4 to 5 years? And broadly, in terms of specification, which markets are you looking at?
So I think, for transformer and switchgear, export will depend upon how much is the local demand, how much is the orders we have booked, and where it is advantageous to sell. So we see domestic demand quite strong, and we've been very selective on export orders. So we can't do exports at the cost of losing domestic market share. This is the position with respect to transformer and switchgear is concerned. Even though there can be large opportunities for transformer and switchgear. Several examples. So for example, the Ukraine starts rebuilding. I think the 100% of the production can be absorbed by them itself. That is that kind of an opportunity. But the large one of the other I would say wish list or the target which we are working on is to the motors. When we complete the expansion of motors, then I think we would like to increase the share of exports in motors to start with from 5%, 10%, 15%, and maybe up to 20% over a period of 4 to 5 years. This is the overall big picture to which we are working.
Right, but if you talk about motors, say I3, I4, without variable frequency drives configurations, how do we strategize, bridging both together? Will we have some expansions in the drives portfolio or some tie-up globally? Any color from the segment head is great on this question.
So we are taking significant steps to increase our presence in drives. Can be the exact strategy is being worked out, but this is a priority area for us. Last few months we have been working on finalizing the strategy to how to improve our volumes, how to increase our sales and the production. So many options are being worked out, but you will see some action here. As and when something is finalized and approved at the board level, we will be able to communicate. But you can be assured that this is a growing drives business, along with and then also building it as a combo along with motors is one of the strategies which certainly we are following.
Thanks, N.S. Sir, if you allow me, can I ask one last small question on GG Transphotonics?
Yes.
Yeah. So broadly, we have around 14 billion rupees turnover on the rail portfolio, largely around propulsion equipment, not the entire.
Yes. Hello. I think we have lost him.
Mohit Kumar, your line has been unmuted. Please go ahead with your question.
Yes. Good evening, sir. This is Mohit from ICICI Securities. My first question on the railway system, sir. If I see the pipeline on the website, the tender pipeline is quite healthy for railways. In fact, we have train 6% system, we have loco, we have transformers, and we have traction motors. A lot of them. Do you think this pipeline is quite robust compared to the last year? And can we participate in the supply of the train set propulsion system?
You can talk really.
Yeah. We already have a developmental order. We are almost ready with the prototype for the train sets, which will include transformer, motor, and several other accessories along with the propulsion system. So we hope we will be shipping it out to Indian Railways in the first quarter next year.
No, my question was that there is a tender which is out there of traction electrics for sleeper set of 32 billion. Can we participate?
Yeah, we will participate.
And my second question is the pipeline for the propulsion equipment, traction electrics, transformers is looking very high. It's around 80 billion, 8,000 crores. Do you think this number is much higher than compared to the last year at the same time?
Yeah, it is increased because the volume of production they are planning this year is higher than last year. They were originally making 1,100 to 1,200 locomotives. This year they are targeting around 1,500 locomotives.
Understood, sir. My second question is, what is the breakup of current order book of power systems? I mean, between power transformer, distribution transformer, and how is the inquiry in power transformer in particular? Is it compared to last year? If you can give some color.
So I can't give you the breakup, but the inquiries are higher than last year.
Sir, anything on the power transformer, distribution transformer separately?
No.
If possible.
We don't share this data.
Understood, sir. Understood. Thank you, sir. Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Janvi Jain from 360 ONE. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Firstly, congratulations on a great tenure. So my question is regarding, you mentioned 8% is the top line growth that we're expecting, and 40% is based on the railway tender that was awarded. Am I right?
No. So we're not audible. Railways, we said in the beginning, last call I had said that, we will be able to grow up to 40% this year. That's what I mentioned.
And what is the top line growth that we've had for this quarter, sir, percentage?
For railways you are talking?
No, overall, sir.
On the? Overall. So overall we have given in our press release, we have grown sales by about 19% and the PBT by 27% for the company as a whole.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Aditya Mungia from Kotak Securities. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. Just wanted to kind of get some more color on this comment made on the number of locomotives going up from the run rate of about 1,100 locos to about 1,500. What is driving this growth, and will there be further growth beyond this number? Is this number sustainable? Could you give some color on that?
So this is something which you have to check with the railways. We don't get anything. We don't get what is available from the railway sources we have said. We can't have any further information on this.
Understood. That was the only question on my side. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rajesh Vora from Genmai Venture. Please go ahead.
Good evening, gentlemen. Congrats on good set of numbers, and especially commendable performance by outgoing MD, CEO, Mr. Srinivasan, under your leadership. Company achieved terrific turnaround, and there was a humongous value creation for both the public as well as shareholders. So job well done.
Thank you. The credit goes to my team.
To also welcome Mr. Amar, the new CEO. If he could give me a quick brief about how he looks at the CG Power, how does he want to sort of take it to next growth orbit, be great if that's possible.
So I think, he's just joined only about few days back. He joined on 9th actually. So I think unfair to ask. He's very much there, but I can answer on his behalf. Unfair to ask.
No, I understand. So I have one question on EV motors. I find that CG Power has received IRQS certification for automotive applications. So could you give some color on EV motors?
No, those kind of certifications we have started working at the back end. When our product is ready, we should be ready with our plant where we don't need to waste time. But at the same time, we are already started working on two products. One is three-wheeler cargo as well as the LCV. We are in advanced stage of protos and testing.
Okay, so when do we see our motors being used on a commercial scale? Is it 1 year down the road, couple of years down the road? Any rough idea?
Yeah, approximately a year down the line. No?
Okay, wonderful. Thanks and all the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take this as a last question. And I'll hand the conference over to Mr. Gaurav Uttarani from IIFL Securities Limited for closing comments.
Thank you, Neha. On behalf of IIFL Securities, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of IIFL Securities Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.